What's up, guys? Welcome to Real Estate Podcast, episode 236. I'm here with Griffin,
I'm here with Trav.
And I'm here with Adam.
and this week we watched Dune.
We finally watched Dune after watching 18 trailers
Yeah.
for it. Talking about this movie for 4 years now at this point, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, and to be fair, right? We've watched a lot of Denis Villeneuve. I don't know. So I'm pronouncing his name wrong for sure because I've watched videos where people are talking about him and it's pronounced completely different. But we finally get and this is one of those things. It's like they're never going to be able to make Dune. It's never going to happen. You know, there's just no way. Lynch tried it, and it's like, well, was he really the one most qualified
yeah,
to try to make a Dune movie? Well, let's be honest with each other here. And of course, we got the series, that came on Sci-Fi in the early 2000s. And they're actually giving it the big budget treatment that it deserves. And I think that this is one of those films that Star Wars was kind of a product of its time, right? But I don't think that you couldn't have done Dune at the time that you did Star Wars. I mean, they tried, of course, with Lynch, but it just wasn't like the scope. It wasn't easy to capture the scope. It was easier. To me, it's easier to capture. Yes, exactly.
Like with Star Wars, you're inside a lot.
Well, you're inside a lot, and they're capturing the scope of the world by showing you one city on one planet that they go. You know what I mean? Like every time they go to a planet, they show you a city on that planet, or the woods or something. But it's not like you see the actual planet for what it is. You see a single representation of that planet. But here, it's like they pull all the stops out, man.
Yeah, it looked great.
His style. I don't know, man. Like his style, like his visual style, the cinematographer, it did not feel like a sci-fi film at all. It felt like a drama that just so happened to have spaceships. Which is like a great thing in my opinion, because sci-fi, love it or hate it, sometimes it's not taken very seriously. It's kind of like horror. Horror films aren't taken very seriously, even though there's some fantastic horror films,
What's like when he did Arrival?
Yeah, and wow, exactly.
What a way to do a sci-fi flick.
Yeah. And then what he was able to do with Blade Runner.
Yeah.
That was a movie. I think me and Adam was talking about this the other night. It's like, Dune was one of those movies that they said would never be able to have a good, faithful adaptation of it created.
People were afraid to even try.
Yeah. And then they also said that Blade Runner was a film that would never be able to be sequelized ever. There's just no way that it can be. And he did both and knocked them both out of the park, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
the first movie crazy. I saw from this guy was Prisoners.
Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah. I've got it on Blu-ray. Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. And then Enemy, we watched that earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
The Gyllenhaal film.
Oh, that's the one with the spider, right?
Yeah. And that was a great film. Yeah, very weird. But it was very well done though, But Dune, man.
Well, yeah, and it definitely it had the look of budget well spent.
Oh man.
Some of these shots, every shot was almost a work of art.
Yeah. And the wall art.
Yeah.
Inside the buildings, all the
Yeah. It's crazy because there's certain shots and it's real low key kind of stuff that you're just like, this looks incredible. Like when the Bene Gesserit shows up at night and it shows them leaving the ship and it's raining.
That ship was so cool, man.
Yeah. And the way that it's shot,
and through the fog, and it's I was like, man, that looks awesome.
Yeah. And it's like it's nothing. Like in the grand scheme of thing, it's people walking off of a spaceship. but like just the concept of that shot and the way that they filmed that was just fucking perfect, like in every way, you know?
Yeah.
And there's tons of these. I mean, you can pause a scene, you know, any scene in this film, and you can get, you know, a background.
Yeah. Like
Or
that. Oh yeah, dude, that would make a great poster. Like
yeah,
just that ship from looking up.
yeah,
So
right.
that thing in the sky, that big thing that the ships were coming out of, was that like a portal?
I think that was
Yeah, it's a station where
Where you
they're
could
coming in
jump?
and out of. Yeah,
Yeah. That thing looked cool.
yeah,
it
That
would be
and
ship
I
coming
creepy
up out of the
to
water?
it would be
yeah,
creepy
Cool.
to look up and see something like that just hanging out in the
Yeah.
atmosphere, not above the atmosphere, you know.
yeah, and then seeing shit come through it, you're like,
Yeah, like when
ooh,
Josh Brolin looked up and he was like, "Oh God."
yeah, they're fucking here, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Got me
The
talking politics, you know?
yeah,
So so the movie ends with us having our hero meet up with uh the Fremen finally, and they, you know, it ties itself off so that, you know, the beginning of the next film we get, you know, everybody's where they need to be so that
Yeah.
the boom pow bang can start going down. And I think that's a clever idea for a story like Dune, which, you know, everyone's equating it to, you know, Game of Thrones in space, which is an insult to it, but it is the best way to get the
Yeah.
message across of what someone's getting themselves into. Because, I mean, it is far superior than anything Martin has ever created or
Yeah.
allowed to be created. Um, so we've got, oh man, the Atreides, they've taken a heavy hit,
Heavy.
yeah,
and we got the Harkonnens, uh, seemingly, you know, going full Lannister.
yeah,
You never go full Lannister, but
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
going full Lannister. We got to have a movie, and
They they didn't show the Emperor in this, have they?
no,
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Okay.
they
I,
showed that. Yeah, I did notice that was something that they changed.
yeah,
They allowed you know the you know instead of the Emperor itself showing up, they opted to just
Just
have like
use the
a
Baron.
mouthpiece show up,
yeah,
which I thought it was fucking hilarious when they show up and he busts out that big ass scroll. I was expecting him to go into some damn sing song, some as
Yeah.
God and earth, and fucking, you know.
yeah,
So he rolls up, he tells them, all right, Emperor's like fuck Arrakis belong to the Harkonnens. It's now yours. Do you accept it? And we get probably one of the more superior performances or superior actors of the film. You got Oscar Isaac stepping forward, looking regal as shit.
yeah,
This is where he does the ring.
yeah,
Did you
Mhm.
notice everyone's face? Like when he pressed that into that, there were several people standing around like, well, they're fucked.
Yeah,
It's almost like they knew.
oh yeah, for sure, right?
well, I feel like it's gonna come back to haunt them in the
Yeah.
next film. You know, they're gonna find out that. Well, you know, we start getting a little bit of that in the tent sequence when Paul and his mother are out in the
When
desert,
he starts
and
talking about the Holy War.
well, yeah, that too. And he, you know, he tells her, you know, he's like, "Get the fuck away
All this
from me! You
shit's
made
gonna
me
happen in my name. I'm a freak.
yeah, and it's your goddamn fault, man."
Yeah,
He used the voice on her. Get your hands off of me.
yeah.
Right? If you could use the voice, what would you do?
I can't talk about that on the podcast.
You won't
Yeah, you
incriminate
can.
yourself. I mean, I'd
Yeah,
use it to get out of tickets.
yeah,
Uh, when you pay in for stuff, I'd be like, I've already paid, you know, and then walk through. Like,
yeah.
I would use it way too much,
Yeah.
I would abuse it for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, But I do. One thing that I very much enjoyed was how the pacing of the film and the fact that the film it's not baby stepping you. And what I mean by that is like, you see the meeting between the Baron and the Benny Jesuit and Polka Dot Man, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of like, from this conversation, you kind of have an understanding of what's happening. But there's also more to that than meets the eye. It's kind of like the Transformers,
They do a good job explaining everything.
They
put it on Front Street.
They do a good job of explaining everything, but it doesn't feel like it's baby.
Yeah,
it's force feeding. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that at all.
Yeah, it's absolutely the most digestible of all of the movies.
Oh yeah,
or all the adaptations.
Yeah, for sure.
Because one thing that this movie is obviously going to do, it's going to send a spike in the amount of copies of books that's going to get bought up. People are going to start visiting Dune for the first time, and a lot of people ain't ready to get stonewalled by the start of this book. So, I think they're going to appreciate the movie even more so once a lot of these people start trying to read the books and they come back around and like, you know what? Think I'm going to let some other people distill this down for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, I mean, I could not remember any major changes, but as far as I was aware, watching it, that they managed to still hit the same beats that the other two representations did, while at the same time not being as long-winded as David Lynch's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what he was able to accomplish, and like you said, how it left off. I think that was like, it was kind of I wouldn't say risky, but it was kind of, it was an interesting,
a little risky with not having the other one made yet.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Ending it there, like knowing that if it doesn't do well, then there just won't be a second part, which would have been nuts. Like,
because they could have, they definitely could have ended it where Duke dies, and they're fleeing. They're fighting, and then they're getting taken off into the desert, and then the ship could have crashed, and that could have been the end of it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, if it's going to be a one and done, then they died in the shipwreck, or in the all that shit that was happening. But I mean, a lot of people, a lot of the things that I've seen, read, or whatever was like, people were pissed because of the way that the movie ended, because it didn't follow a traditional 3-act structure for a single film. And it's like, but it's not a single film.
Yeah.
And to me, like, they should have filmed them back to back. They should have also released it as one long movie and had an intermission and everything. In my opinion, that's what they should have done.
It would have been
nice.
I
know they wouldn't have made it near as much money.
The fact that we're going to have to wait 2 years to.
Well, I know when, like, practically, I guess it makes sense that they did this route, only because I know that, like, common with a lot of book adaptations and the whole let's film it all together and then just kind of break it off in morsels to release and whatnot. I understand that in terms of making everything look flush and the same, with, like, nobody really having to age that much, save for when effects are needed. But I think not having the burden of the other half of the story, I think that made the production of just this part a lot easier, and probably I feel like more attention was able to be given.
Oh yeah.
If that makes any sense, because I feel like if they had went let's film the whole story now.
Trying to do it all.
because the next movie, I know at one point before the pod, Adam, you'd said, next movie they're gonna have to go bigger and better, and that's exactly it seems like the format that the director's taking is, while this movie is big and on its own, and it's, I would argue, probably one of the briefest 2.5 hours I've sat there in a long time.
It went by quick.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna have a ton of action sequences in this next film. Some people are thinking, once they get down to the sieges, that it's gonna slow down a little bit, and it might. I mean, just enough for
a little bit
for Paul to enter his final form, and then we're gonna get the big resistance fight between the Fremen and the Harkonnens and the Empire and stuff. So
yeah,
I feel like I feel like it probably made making the film a lot easier, and is what we got out of, he was able to get the maximum, out of his production.
Another thing you're gonna think about too is like all this is taking place, during COVID.
Yeah.
Remember they had the big theater and streaming debate with the Warner Brothers or whatever, or Lionsgate. Someone was pissed that they were gonna put it out. So the budget was 165 million. That's a lot of money. Especially a lot of money to spend on a movie that people are like, there's no way you can make a Dune movie and do well. Well, so far it's raked in about $300 million. So
we got our sequel.
Yeah,
on the way.
The sequel's getting made. There's more money this time for the, so that probably helped too.
Oh yeah,
by just doing it, and it's like, all right, because that's a lot of money to spend on something that may or may not, do well.
And I bet with its success, it's also going to be easier at the negotiating table.
Oh yeah.
When the director's like, okay, so my first part of this made this much money, I want this much money to make part 2 because I know what I can do with it, and y'all have seen what I can do with it.
So the Baron looked like Marlon Brando. Did anybody else?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I'm not sure what, if it was a video we all watched together. I didn't watch a whole lot of content post viewing, but I did watch one video, and someone said that had made the comment that it looked like he had taken cues from like Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, bald-headed Brando. Yeah, that's what he even looked like him, kind of like.
Yeah, he did.
But the way he was doing the low and slow,
yeah,
it was like Marlon Brando from Apocalypse Now. Yeah,
he definitely, like, compared to the other interpretations of the Baron that we've had so far, it's definitely the most menacing, yet also the most believable.
Oh yeah. Add a couple of knots on the neck.
Yeah,
the Baron.
Just a couple. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it added to the it added to the eeriness. So, like, I don't know. It's like you want to believe what the guy says in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
When dude's like, "Yeah, we're wiping them out. We're taking my goddamn planet back."
Yeah.
And he has that ominous, feeling looming over every sequence we cut to him in, because it's not like the director was lazy and it was always just cut back to him on his throne. Like, it would always cut back to him and he's doing something different, but it let you know that he's an imposing motherfucker, dude.
Yeah. And look at where they come from. That shit is fucking crazy looking. The planet that they're on.
Yeah.
Getty Prime.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts, man.
Geddy Lee's their mascot.
I wonder
Living on a lighted stage approaches the unreal. I loved it, man. The cast was perfect. Like, they couldn't have cast anybody with anybody else under any circumstances, and it would have been better than this shit, because this was like perfect. Fucking Shamway is gonna be fucking massive.
Yeah.
Like, he is gonna follow the same trajectory that Leonardo DiCaprio followed.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm a little more okay with the Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when you read the synopsis, it's a prequel. It's him meeting the Oompa Loompas for the first time. It's like, oh,
Right.
that's a different story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 25, dude. He looks like he's like 10.
Yeah, he does. Definitely, definitely looks like he hasn't, reached his final form,
Yeah.
And then fucking Oscar Isaac.
Oh
Look,
man.
well, I was just saying, just adding on to Charlemagne's performance, he was able to pull off the look of a fucking teenager, even though he's
Yeah.
like in his mid-20s, I think.
He's 25.
Yeah. So I mean, and then him able to hold up his own
With all those
against
big, yeah.
all these
Javier
fucking
Bardem,
power.
like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, Josh Brolin, yeah. These powerhouses of fucking I mean, it's crazy, dude. It's fucking nuts.
I mean, can we take a minute to acknowledge the fact that, like, even now, like, when you see Thanos, when you see him in Dune, you've seen him in his all the other different genre works that he's done. Josh Brolin, who would have thought that the older brother from the Goonies
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
become this all-consuming actor that's in so many great blockbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he turned into a blockbuster actor,
Yeah.
and that's, I mean, he's fucking good, He's definitely worth it, but it's like Brolin, backdoor Brolin, what we'll call him, because he just slides right in, and you're like, oh, what are you doing here? And he's like, acting my ass off, brother, and you're like,
I
true,
think one of the
true.
movies that did it for him was No Country for Old Men.
Oh
And
yeah.
he was in some
Oh,
stuff
for
before
sure.
that, but I remember
That
watching that and being like, that's Josh Brolin?
that was the big banger for his
Yeah.
for sure, man.
I'll never forget. He's like, he goes up to that truck and that dude's in there. And he's just going aqua. He's like, I ain't got no water.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Josh, I see you. You know,
Yeah.
Lou Ellen. All right. Dune though, like this is a damn near perfect film in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what these people say. Like the people that didn't like where the film left off. Hey, it's part one.
It had to leave
Like,
off somewhere. I mean,
well,
you know?
and like Corey said the other night, it's like it did a great job leaving off there, in my opinion. And the reason why is because, like, and I never really thought about this, but he's absolutely right about it. It's like the impact that him just taking another person's life
Yeah.
and how that's going to change his appreciation for life.
Yeah. And
And like,
everyone there seeing him
yes,
and being like, all right, maybe he is fucking
yeah,
somebody, you know?
right, yeah, exactly. And so, and I think that that's a very important thing that, like, in the form of a book or in the form of a television show, it's something that can be built up to more. And then it could also like you can see the outcome of it, but here we get the build up to it and we get the action, but we haven't seen the outcome of it yet.
Yeah. The final
And
form.
exactly, and I
Yeah.
really think that that's going to be like that's not the last time we're going to see and or hear about that moment in time.
Yeah, for sure.
And the people that are like, well, I mean, it sucks because he fought someone that was like way way less experienced than he was, and it was just kind of a cakewalk. And it's like, that's not the fucking point. You know, the point is that he just took a man's life, and he had to take a man's life.
Yeah,
Like,
whether he wanted to or not. And then like him when he stabs him and the guy goes down, like he goes down there and grabs his hand.
yeah, oh yeah.
It was like, whoa.
So, yeah,
And he gave the guy 3 or 4 opportunities. He was like, do you yield?
yeah,
And the guy was like, don't work that way here, man.
yeah,
He's like, I really
Well,
don't want to kill him, but I guess I have to.
well, and it's the whole. It is the whole head game with him that's going to be him coming to terms, because the whole movie is him realizing that he's going to become something great,
Yeah.
Yeah.
terrifying, but great. And I like that in the past couple decades, we have various movies and various properties where the main character is pulled into the hero's quest, uh, and wants to become better, and the typical, when I'm king, I'm gonna blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and then he gets there and all this stuff. Well, it's the perspective of someone who doesn't fucking want any of this.
Yeah.
No.
He does not want, like, he even tells his father, I don't want to be the leader of the house, or like, what if I don't want to be the leader of this family? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think coupled with the death at the end, that when he takes the life, coupled into that conversation he has with Oscar Isaac about not wanting to be the leader, and his father goes, I'm just going to tell you the same thing my old man told me: no matter what you pick, you're still going to be my son. That's all I need out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, the heaviest thing Star Wars pulls from Dune, I believe, is that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna be a moment like that in reflection for him, hopefully. Because I mean, let's face it, we could try to act like we know what's gonna happen book wise and everything,
Yeah.
but we still don't know what all Villeneuve's got up his sleeve yet.
No.
And he could have his scriptwriter just go left when he should keep taking right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the writers too, so um, they may change it up a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like those little moments where like the woman was like, "Have you put one of these suits on before?" And he's like, "No." And she's like, "Well, how'd you
It's
know
perfect.
how?" Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then when Javier Bardem comes there, when he goes to leave, he's like, "I recognize you."
Like
Yeah.
all
Like,
those these
yeah,
little moments of prophecy. Yeah.
yeah, where everybody's like, "Huh,
Yeah.
I recognize you." Thought that was cool.
Well, let me ask you guys this before we trail on to something else. Sequel comes out, right?
Mhm.
All right. And we'll get into this in movie news here in a minute, but like about what's going to be after the second one or what could possibly be after the second one. Do you think that the second film is going to open up with a time jump, or do you think that it's going to open up with it picking up, maybe a couple of hours or maybe a day or so after the events of the first film?
I see it like they arrive where they're going. You know what I mean? Like it picks up, he's there
Right.
because they're on their way to the little underground
To that
community, right?
city. Yeah. Yeah. What I can't remember the name of that
It's
city
like a
or what
sect or
they call
something.
them. Yeah.
But
What do they call 'em?
I don't know. I just picture them being there, like showing
Yeah.
up because we gotta see that. I don't want them to skip the first meeting with everyone.
Yeah.
Where they like
Yeah.
it's like okay, so many days later, like he's already met everyone. I want to see the tension in the room when he gets there.
Right. I get that. But yeah, I
I
was
think
just kind of curious about that.
I would like something like it opened with a dream sequence where maybe we get another, fearful shot at how bad the battle's going to be, and it's just them still trekking through the desert.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They haven't really fully went down into the Seaches yet. They're just, you know.
The Sieges.
That's what it was. We
Yes.
will not disturb your sieges.
Yeah.
I'll spit to that.
Yeah. Thank you
I'll
for
give
your moisture.
hydration. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll moisturize to that.
Yeah.
Whenever they stab that doctor and all the water comes out,
Yeah, right.
and like,
Like,
dude, they're
oh,
killing people just to get the water out of their suit. They're like, we need their water,
yeah.
and it's like, whoa,
We're
it's fucking
thirsty.
hot there, man.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah, for real. It is humid.
Dude, when that worm, comes up, like I think it sensed him.
Yeah.
Because the one guy was like, I saved you by putting the thumper down. It's like, nah, dude, the worm wasn't gonna do anything. It was like, and it made that noise, that rattle. But it
Yeah.
was like, it knew who it was.
Yeah.
That should have been proof to them that were watching that the worm just stopped and looked at him like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you're here. That was
He's
pretty
here.
cool.
Yeah.
And that's like the only time you really get a good look at it. Other than that,
I
it's just a big hole in the ground. That was cool how they did that.
yeah, they kept it very low key.
The less is more approach to the sandworms was awesome.
Yeah.
They kept them in the background and showed you just a small bit of potential at the end when it showed the other Fremen on like riding the worm.
Yeah.
And yeah, just all around a fucking good time, man.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a full sandworm.
I'm going to give it one of those little projectors that he's got.
Okay, yeah.
A
Those
little
things are cool as
portable. I
fuck.
mean,
Yeah.
they look cool, but they don't work like that. Like,
I know, right? I wish they did,
yeah.
I'm giving it a full
Yeah.
star, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
Did not
It was
disappoint.
no,
It
it was
gets a full Arrakis, I think, from the team.
it gets a fucking Arrakis on a cloudy day,
Yeah.
where it's a little bit more tolerable, a little bit cooler. There's a breeze.
Well, Benny Jesuit.
So following up on this, it says that the director, Dune director Denis Villeneuve, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I've heard
has
people
his
calling him Denis. People saying Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve. Okay,
Yeah.
so Denis Villeneuve, I think he's Canadian.
I thought he was French, considering how his name's being pronounced.
He's French
Well,
Canadian. Yeah.
So we're both
Yes.
right, Travis. It says the director has his sights set on epic sci-fi adventures far beyond simply Dune Part 2, with the filmmaker revealing that he has in fact always envisioned a trilogy. Despite Dune 2 being touch and go, now that it has been officially greenlit, Villeneuve has clearly gotten a taste for more. He said, I always envisioned 3 movies. It's not that I want to do a franchise, but this is Dune, and Dune is a huge story. In order to honor it, I think you would need to do at least 3 more movies. You would need to do at least 3 movies. That would be the dream. To follow Paul Atreides and his full arc would be nice. While it has always been understood that Villeneuve's vision for the Dune saga would be told in 2 movies, the filmmaker has evidently been thinking beyond that. And though he does stipulate that he does not want to spawn a franchise, the director is hoping to adapt more of Frank Herbert's novels for the big screen, up to a point. Says Herbert wrote 6 books, and the more he was writing, the more it was getting psychedelic. So I don't know how some of them could be adapted. One thing at a time. If I ever had the chance to do Dune Part 2 and Dune Messiah, I'm blessed. Um Says Dune Messiah is set 12 years after the events of Doom and picks up with Paul Atreides as he comes to terms with the brutal consequences that have occurred following the acceptance of his destiny as the Messiah of the Fremen. Should Dune Part 2 find the same financial and critical success as Part 1, there is no reason why Villeneuve would not be given the chance to bring his planned trilogy to life.
Oh yeah.
So, but here's the thing, and this was something that Adam brought up the other night when we were talking about it. So,
TV show.
Dune, Dune,
Yeah.
Dune 2, and then they're also doing Sisters of Dune.
The Sisterhood.
Is that right? Of the Traveling Pants?
It's Dune, the Sisterhood. It follows Benny Jesuit.
Okay.
It's about
So-
that. And it's already been announced, so that's happening.
Right.
For sure.
And I think he's directing, and I think he might be directing the first episode of it, possibly.
Yep.
Just to kind of, get it going, which makes sense. But here's the thing, though, man. It's like with Dune being what it is, right? And clearly, the people not only that are working on the film, but that are also in the film are fans of the story,
Yep.
fans of what that means to people. I'm sure that you could do all that you wanted to do with Dune, but you may have to do it in more of a long form format.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be okay with that. And honestly, if there's 6 books and it gets, you know, and I haven't read them, so I don't know, but I'm sure it stays, very very political to a fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming. So it would almost work better as a TV series, like a long form TV series, if
Yep.
you're going to try to cover everything. But I think that like the first 2 films being a jumping off point, and then if, the Sisterhood or whatever it's called does well, I think that there might be opportunities for more things to be explored, even maybe some of the prequel things or something like that.
Yeah. Whatever this guy wants to make, I'm down.
For
And the
sure.
studio
Right?
should be too after they saw that.
Yeah, right.
And the
Jesus.
response, that it's gotten, like,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, dude, let him. I mean, dude, the second one's gonna make more money than that one did, probably.
Yeah,
Because
for
now
sure.
everybody's like, well, now I gotta know, I gotta see what happens. It's
Yeah.
like, well, you know what happens, but
Yeah.
you don't.
And I'm sure not this week, but I'm sure next week, because I didn't see anything on it, but I'm sure next week we'll actually have the numbers from not only what it made in theaters, but what it made on streaming and how many people actually
Yeah.
streamed it. Because there were people that were talking to me about Dune that, I mean, I never would have guessed
That they
would
would want
be
to watch
into
Dune.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's crazy. So I think that they've got something good going here, and I'm very excited that this guy's getting to bring his vision of what this story is to the big screen.
Yeah.
This is who I compared him to, Trav. You may agree, I don't know, you may disagree. Um he feels like our generation's version of Ridley Scott,
Yeah.
because like Ridley Scott did some sci-fi stuff, but it didn't really feel like sci-fi. You know what I mean? Like, and then the other stuff that he did kind of falls in line a little bit with some of the other things that he's done. So you know, I'm very excited for the Cleopatra film
Mm-hmm.
that he's working on, and of course the follow up to Dune. So I hope that this guy gets everything that he wants to make made. Next up here is Jim Carrey Modoc in the MCU? Question mark. Um, Welcome to the latest episode of Marvel Rumor Time, and this one is a doozy, as reports have begun to circulate that comedy legend and star of such cinematic treasures as Ace Ventura and The Mask, Jim Carrey, will join the Marvel Cinematic Universe as the supervillain Modoc. Now, with such rumors, a dousing of salt is of course needed, but considering that claims from the same source have since been proven true, there is a chance that this exciting idea could indeed be accurate. The report claims that Carrey's iteration of Modoc could debut as early as the Disney Plus series She-Hulk, though it is unclear whether he would be in his human form or would have already undergone his disfiguring transformation. It is also hinted that the character will have an arc which spans across both the small screen on Disney Plus and the big screen in several Marvel movies, including Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and some fans have since speculated that he could also be involved in Captain America 4. And then it goes into who Modoc is and all that good stuff here.
I mean, he did a great job in Sonic, so
I
I can
mean,
see it happening. Like,
I could see it happening, but also like I don't think that they're gonna like cast Jim Carrey and not have something that's like perfect for him.
yeah,
You know, like for sure. So, but yeah, I think that that's kind of interesting because they got Patton Oswalt to do the voice of Modoc in that
and what I've
Hulu
seen is
series.
that's great.
Yeah,
I mean, he nails it.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think that Modoc's kind of an interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, Jim Carrey might put his own little spin on that. So we'll see what happens. Next up here, The Great Outdoors 2 is being planned with Dan Aykroyd and original director Howard Dutch. We could be getting a sequel to The Great Outdoors written by John Hughes and directed by Howard Dutch. I think it's Dutch. The Great Outdoors was released in theaters back in 1988. The beloved comedy stars Dan Aykroyd and John Candy in what is certainly one of the most popular movies for both actors, as the pair work so well together on screen. Of course, Candy passed away in 94, and it's never seemed likely that The Great Outdoors will be given a sequel as a result. However, in a new interview with THR, Aykroyd says that The Great Outdoors 2 may be happening after all. As the actor says, he's teamed back up with the original director to develop a new sequel dubbed The Great Outlaws. Whether it ends up happening seems to depend upon finding the right actor to fill the void that Candy's absence leaves behind. Howie Dutch was a really fun director on the picture. He loved handling Candy and me. Howie and I are working on the sequel called The Great Outlaws. I'm looking for the Candy figure. There are some really interesting names, but I can't say who. Howie and I are tickled to bring back Roman as a Ponzi scheme guy who victimizes a federal agent. Who knows if I find the right partner? So,
Do you see that related news right
no.
under that? Right under his
Mm,
quote, it says related. The Great Outdoors is getting a remake with Kevin Hart.
let's see what's happening here. This is from April the
Oh,
27th, 2017. Yeah. So maybe they were,
yeah, that would have to be a no go then.
yeah.
That's gonna be some
So
hard shoes to fill,
that
John Candy.
speaking on that real quick, it says that that version of The Great Outdoors with Kevin Hart was supposed to be a remake of the original.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay. They were
like,
just making. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, can you think of anybody like right now, right off the top of your head, that could do that? That could bring Candy's energy back? I
No.
mean, it's hard, right?
I mean, they'll have to get somebody funny. I don't know. Like who's gonna want
Yeah,
to do that too? Like,
exactly.
but no.
I mean, you think Zach Galifianakis could do it?
What if I could see, like put maybe Bill Murray.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's not the same energy as John Candy, but
But it's funny
it
though.
would, it'd be nice to see Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But you got Zach Galifianakis, you got Jack Black.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, oh, what's his name? Eastbound and
What if the
Down.
Danny McBride?
Got him.
What if they go a different route and they bring in um that chick? God damn it, what the fuck is her name? Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah,
Melissa McCarthy.
yeah,
Like, I mean,
she's funny.
in the right with the right writing and
Yeah,
the right, she is genius. So, I mean, that would be very interesting to see.
yeah,
So, I don't know. Whatever they do is going to be like, I don't think that they're going to go forward with it if it's not going to be perfect.
yeah.
So, The Boondock Saints 3 is happening with Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery. Says Boondock Saints 3 is happening. The third installment of what will become a trilogy was announced on Monday by Deadline, along with word that director Troy Duffy, who helmed the first two movies, will be back in the director's chair. Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery are also both set to return as vigilante brothers Connor and Murphy McManus. Sean Reddick and Wavette Yates Reddick of Impossible Dream Entertainment are producing the Boondock Saints 3 with Don Carmody and Troy Duffy. Additionally, Duffy wrote the screenplay alongside Patrick Flannery and some creative input from Reedus. Flannery and Reedus are executive producing with Nat McCormick and the Exchange and Todd Myers of Dragonfly Films. The fans have loved these characters for 20 years, Duffy said in a statement. They use terms of endearment like the brothers or the boys. We left them in jail at the end of Boondocks 2, and fans want to know what happened to them. Norman and Sean have been a driving force to keep this franchise on track and break some new ground story-wise. The fans have been waiting. They literally ask about it daily, and I'm really excited to be working with Impossible Dream to make Boondock 3 a reality.
So every
I mean,
10
here's
years.
yeah,
Not 99 was the first one, and then 2009, the second one,
yeah,
and now,
yeah,
you know, I really liked the first one,
yeah.
but the second one, it was okay, you know,
Yeah, it was
it didn't
okay.
have to. It was like that Breaking Bad movie.
Yeah.
It didn't have to have it, but it was all right.
Yeah, it was nice that it was there, you know. But here's the thing though, man. If Troy Duffy wouldn't have been a fucking idiot,
Yeah,
we would have already had the trilogy
because
made.
he was
You know?
real weird about getting shit made, right? Like there was some problems around him.
Yeah,
Didn't he
because like,
crowdsource the other one?
well,
There was some
the
kind of
second
thing
one,
with crowdsourcing in him, I remember.
I think that he did do some of that on the second one. Um, but here's the thing though, man. Like, he was a dickhead
Yeah.
to everybody because like he wrote a great script. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wrote he have you ever seen that fucking documentary about that about Boondock Saints? Or
Maybe.
them so like I've watched it, it's been years and years ago.
Yeah, it
I'd
would have
like
been
to
a
go
long
back and
time
watch it
ago.
again. Yeah.
I seem
But
to
you know,
remember some kind of scandal around him. Like,
well, what happened was like he wrote the film. He knew like he was very confident that this film was going to be something.
ego, huh?
And yeah,
Yeah.
and like the movie studios were coming around and they were offering him decent money for a first time writer director with, you know, and I'm pretty sure that he had the cast already together and everything. And he was just like, no, I want more money. And they're like,
Mm.
but I mean,
But
you
you're a
haven't done
nobody.
anything. Yeah. And he's like, no, this movie's going to be fucking massive. You just don't understand how big this movie's going to be. And he ran all the studios away from him.
That's right. Yeah, I
And
remember
now, yeah. And now nobody wants to work with him.
now. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dude, first of all, like, you know who else had a fucking great first script? Kevin Smith.
Yep.
And he made that shit himself. And then he went on to do other things. You
Quentin
know who had a
Tarantino.
fucking, yeah, exactly. You know who had a great first couple of scripts? Like, you know, True Romance and then fucking Reservoir Dog. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Had to
Like,
sell the first one to make the other one. Like,
yeah, I mean, so like, just play ball, at least with your first film.
yeah.
I
Because he
think
could have
that
been, he would have blew up, dude.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that is a great movie.
Oh yeah, it is. And the writing is great. Now the second one, I think that
Diminishing
the second
returns.
well, I think the second one he had too long to sit on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it took him too long to get it made. He kept going back and doing more and more rewrites and all this kind of shit. And
10 years.
yeah,
Now it's been
I
another
think
10 years.
yeah. So I think it suffered from that, you know. But you know, if he would have just played ball, at least with his first film, and maybe he could have negotiated the rights to those characters. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And done
yeah.
whatever.
And that's like, dude, he really hasn't had any work.
No.
He did the first one and then nothing. 10 years later, the second one. So he wrote a short for Knight Rider. So he did that Guest House movie with Pauly Shore on. He wrote that, which is
Right.
actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then the next one will be so he's got just 5 credits.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to work with him.
And it came out in 99.
Yeah.
You know, he could have been a superstar. He could have like
This
he
dude
could have
must be
been the
an
next
asshole,
Scors
man.
yeah, he could have been the next Scorsese, but like he ruined his chance. He ruined his opportunity, you
Burn
know?
bridges.
Yeah. So it sucks, but I mean, when they come out with a sequel, of course I'm going to watch
Oh
it.
yeah.
You know, I want to see what happens because this should be it and this should tie everything up and be, the be all end all. But at the same time, it's like, dude, like you could have been somebody. Like that was a great fucking. And I think that discouraged him from wanting to write more, but he did it to himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it would have been me and I was playing hardball like that, and I would have continued to fucking write,
Mm-hmm.
and tried to make something. But talking about a fucking director that's coming back to the States for the first time in nearly 20 years. John Woo is returning to Hollywood for his first movie in the U.S. in nearly 20 years. The director of popular action movies like Hardboiled and Face Off, Woo has been working on features in Hong Kong in recent years. It has been revealed that he will be directing a new U.S. action movie called Silent Night with Joel Kinnaman, set to star in the lead role. Wu is taking an interesting angle with Silent Night, as it will reportedly be a loud action tale that's completely free of dialogue, but probably filled with gunshots, breaking glass, and other action movie racket. That, of course, means Wu will have to rely on his unique brand of visual storytelling to keep the viewers hooked on what's happening from beginning to end. Joel Kinnaman will also have the task of using nothing but his movements and facial features to convey what needs to be said, but not out loud, with every scene. Uh, full plot, full plot details haven't been revealed, but as a movie without dialogue, the story for Silent Night is said to be basic. Per Deadline, Joel Kinnaman stars as a normal father, a quote unquote normal father, who heads into the criminal underworld to avenge the death of his young son. Additional casting is underway. Um, John Woo's first made a name for himself with the international success of movies made in his native Hong Kong, including The Killer, Hardboiled, and Bullet in the Head. He found greater fame in the United States when he headed to Hollywood to direct a handful of very successful action movies, notably including the John Travolta Nicolas Cage classic Face Off.
Yep.
He also directed titles like Broken Arrow, Mission Impossible 2, and Wind Talkers. He has since returned to Hong Kong and hasn't made an American movie since 2003's Paycheck with Ben Affleck and Uma Thurman.
Mm-hmm. Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Hmm.
Ben Affleck. So,
I thought you
I
were gonna
like
say
John.
Roman Polanski when you said that our director's returning to.
No,
I'm just kidding.
no,
But
no. I don't think he'll be
but
back.
Face Off, man,
Yeah, I
what a
know.
smash hit.
Yeah, Hardboiled. I mean, he's made some great films, man, and that's an interesting concept, an action film with no dialogue, and it's like, yeah,
Oh, that's real.
yeah, like they're not going to have any dialogue. So I want to watch it just because of that. It's like, what's going
Yeah,
to be
that's different.
is it like what you call it? That John Krasinski fucking where it's all quiet, a quiet
Yeah.
place. Like
Well, they even
it's
talk in that like
yeah, they do.
a movie with
So
no dialogue. I hope it's not too long.
I mean, I'm sure it'll have some cool action sequences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's gonna have to. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see that. I like John Woo, so I think that'd be pretty cool. So that's all I saw that was interesting. Did you guys see anything interesting on the intrawebs?
Josh Brolin's been sober for 8 years.
Wow.
Saw that.
He had to get sober to play Thanos, dude.
Yeah. MCU is like, dude,
No,
you can
dude, he was
stay
reading.
sober for 6 years. We'll give you the movie.
No, he came out like he started reading the shit, and he was like, "He's fucking right."
Yeah.
Like he started prepping to start killing half the population, and then one day he woke up. He's like, "What the fuck am I doing? What am I doing with my life right now?" So that's good for him, though. What was he on? Alcohol,
I would
pill.
imagine drinking.
He looks like a drinker.
Yeah.
I'd have a drink with him though.
Which
I
makes his delivery of the speech at the beginning of Infinity War even more.
Yeah.
Because like the way he talks about him being inevitable.
Yeah.
Imagine years of being drunk.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the night, run from it, hide from it. It all ends the same. Like,
yeah. Does it?
I mean, I'm not claiming jack shit, but that's immediately what I thought when you were like, yeah, he's probably a drunk, and then you're like, okay, and then you channel it into your performance, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of anything other than just, your normal average, stuff. I know that this Friday the Eternals come out.
Oh, have y'all seen the stuff on Eternals?
Like the trailers?
No, like the apparently
controversy.
the Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes score have come out and said that it's the worst reviewed Marvel movies to date.
I mean,
Is that
Which
by
makes
the
me
the
think,
press?
which translates to me as it's comic book as fuck and people didn't like it.
Yeah.
there's no way that it's worse than fucking Captain Marvel, man.
Oh, this will hurt your heart. Captain Marvel don't even show up on the worst reviewed list.
I know. You know why?
Those fucks
It
don't
was
know what the fuck they're talking about.
no, it was the first woman superhero, remember? Just like Black Panther was the first African American, or well, he wasn't American, the first black superhero.
Yeah.
Even though, anyway.
Yeah, so for
Hashtag.
both of those movies, anybody that would give a bad review would be bashed for. Well, the only reason you're doing this is because it's a woman or it's a black. And it's like, no, it's just a shitty movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think that fucking they cast the perfect person to play Wonder Woman. It's not my fault that
Yeah.
those Wonder Woman movies are dog shit.
Yeah,
like
it's a bad
it's
script.
not her fault. It's not her fault either that they're
Yeah.
dog shit.
And it ain't her
Doesn't
beauty,
any-
it's her booty,
Yeah.
For any new listeners that may be listening to the podcast now, please see our Wonder Woman episodes for a jolly good time with Griffin.
Yeah.
He's a He-Man woman hater. He-Man Wonder Woman hater.
The second one was so bad it was funny. You know?
Yeah, it was goofy.
It's like he fucking like tells this wishing rock that he wants to be the wishing rock.
The president of the world.
And then and then like he doesn't turn into a rock.
Uh-huh.
But people have to touch him for their dream, like for their wishes to come true.
Strange story.
He wanted to be a rock, but became a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
I mean, like the concept of that movie is so fucking polarizing, And then like you factor in the cheetah stuff into that, and it's like,
Meow.
I want to be an apex predator. Well, it's on all species in the known universe. Is a cheetah the most apex of apex predators?
You got to start somewhere, Griffin.
I think pound for pound, it's like, it's something tiny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You said pound for pound.
yeah. But anyway, I don't want to talk about Wonder. That fucking second movie, like the first one was bad, but
the first
the
one was
second
better
one,
than the second one.
yeah, the second one
Yeah.
was laughably awful, and it had fucking our boy Pedro in it.
I will say the Eternals does look cinematically different from most, if not all, the other MCU films. It doesn't look as brightly colored. It almost has a
kind of dull.
It almost, well, yeah, it almost has a Snyder to it.
Don't say that too loud.
I mean,
Sony will show up.
and no, I'm not referring to the goddamn laser visions on Icarus. I'm meaning like like the suits, everything from the suits
Yeah.
to the filter, hold that up to like
It does kind of
Endgame and
look
stuff. Like Marvel has been really big about color in their
right,
movies.
loud.
Um, yeah, which isn't a bad thing, but it's their tone. And this movie looks like they might have they wanted to hit a flat note a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's fine and dandy too, but you're gonna get those people that are gonna criticize the movie just for that alone.
Now,
Yeah.
will that be in theaters and Disney Plus at the same time?
No, I think it's just releasing. So here's what's going to happen. Like Shang-Chi did pretty good
Oh,
from what
okay.
I understand. If the Eternals doesn't do that well in theaters, which
Then
to
they were
be
gonna
fair,
postpone stuff, right?
yeah, they were going to
Like
push
Spider
Spider-Man
Man.
back,
Ugh.
Doctor Strange, and all that kind of
Boo.
stuff. To be fair, though, I don't think the Eternals are going to make that much money. I think that they're going to make a decent amount because um, we've been so starved for Marvel content.
Yeah.
I think it'll do decent based
It's
off
not gonna
that.
make as much as like Shang-Chi did, though.
Well,
I
it's
don't think.
it's gonna it's gonna have to it's marketed as this weird world building film,
Yeah.
and
I believe
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
have
set up a
to.
lot of stuff for the future movies.
Yeah, I feel like
So,
it's gonna do what some of our films that take place earlier in the timeline have done,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be, they're gonna acknowledge some shit in the past. That way, when something happens in a future film, they're like, "Well, what the fuck?" And they're like, "Well, remember in the Eternals."
yeah.
Yeah.
So
We'll
kind
we'll
of
see what.
kind of the same way they did Rogue One, just to show us that they're gonna track people through warp, so that it
Yeah.
makes sense in the fucking sequels.
Yeah. Um, I am gonna try to go watch it though. But as a FYI, Shang-Chi is released to Disney Plus on November the 12th.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
So next week, next Friday is when it comes out. So not next week, but the following week, we can do some
Yeah.
Shang-Chi action. I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest.
Yeah. I figured we could
Yeah.
do Lamb next week because we've got that now, right?
Yeah.
And then the week after Shang-Chi.
Yeah. I'm
Because I
cool with
really
that.
want to watch Lamb.
I've
I've been
heard good
holding out
stuff about it. Yeah.
so I can do it closer. Originally, we were gonna watch that Nicolas Cage movie right after this
Pig,
one. Huh?
pig.
No, the one.
Oh, uh, Ghostland.
Yeah. Now we can
Yeah.
still watch that, but I have seen it, and I'd rather watch Lamb.
Okay.
Or
Well,
But we
and
can
I think,
still watch that movie. At some time.
well, all
I'm
right.
not
So
saying we
next
shut it
week,
down, but
let's do Lamb next week. The week after, we'll do Shang-Chi. The week after that, I think possibly, if not that week, then the following week, that Black Friday horror film is going to be out.
yeah.
So we might have to find a filler for the
Mhm.
week of Thanksgiving, but it's fine. So, but yeah, that works for me.
Ew,
But
yeah.
I'm ready for
I'm
trailers,
ready
man.
for this trailer.
Yeah, the Morbius
I didn't know
trailer.
Matt Smith was in the movie.
Yeah, I think he
Who the
plays the
fuck does
virus,
Michael Keaton play?
the Vulture.
Oh,
He's playing the Vulture again. But Matt Smith's playing the virus, dude.
he's playing what?
The virus,
He's COVID.
more or less. Yeah. Oh, Tyrese Gibson's in it. I'm fucking
Mm,
all in, dude. Let's watch it.
he's
This
probably
is
gonna
gonna be
cry.
January the 28th, 2022 is the expected release date of this film.
not a good
Ugh.
sign.
No, that's not
I
a good
mean,
time to
it was
release a
supposed
movie.
to. They were supposed to release it during Halloween,
I
like
think they
2
should
years
have.
ago. Yeah. This is go.
This movie's gonna be pretty dusty.
Well, there may be a reason though why that they're releasing this in
May have something to do
January.
with Spider-Man.
Yes.
Because this comes out after Spider-Man, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
We might get a credit scene or something.
yeah.
You know, just something.
You need to go talk to Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Cut to
Peter
black.
Parker picked up pickled pepper. All right.
All right, I'm ready.
Same.
3, 2, 1, play. Let's see what we got.
Tell me, Mobius, what do you know about bats? Run, Forrest, run!
He's got poliosis.
Poliosis.
Yeah, scoliosis and polio mixed together. Fuck Sony. Michael Morbius. Check the song out.
Yeah.
They should have used that for a Doctor Strange trailer.
Yeah,
That would have been cool.
missed opportunity.
Bat
mean-
radar.
Surely he's going to run
Echolocation.
into Blade at some point, right?
I mean, I hope so.
What?
He can fly. So I don't know anything about the character. Is he a bad guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's missing the whole aspect that he finds his humanity through Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's completely not in this movie, so it makes one wonder.
Did y'all see the Spider-Man on the wall?
Yeah.
Well, he kind of goes Spawn. He's all like, I'm going to be an asshole that
Yeah.
kills people because I love this girl and I can't be with her now because I'm a monster.
He is a monster. That looked pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Was that a little Venom joke?
It was.
Yeah.
Well, Crow talk.
Crow talk.
A little stick around after the animated credits.
We got that trailer number 2 for this Roland Emmerich film, Moonfall.
Let me guess, the moon's gonna fall into the earth.
Yes, that's
what was
exactly
happening in the
what's
first trailer.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I don't
what was
remember.
happening.
Here's my thing. I don't remember the first trailer, so
I remember.
It's about to get. You remember in Gravity, like how panicky it made you feel?
yeah.
Just
Heard that
imagine.
existential dread.
Yeah, yeah, right.
All right, y'all
That-
ready?
Yeah.
3,
Yeah,
2, 1, play. I mean, it's fucking everything up.
Are they gonna have to blow the moon up?
Watch as Roland Emmerich does the unthinkable one more time.
Mm-hmm. If I can put a nuke on the moon. I thought he was dead.
It's Samwise.
Where's the Rock when you need him? You know.
I know.
This is we're dealing with a creature the size of the Chrysler building.
That would be scary as shit, though.
Yeah.
Dude, somebody's watched The Wandering Earth.
Yeah. It's the smoke monster.
Doc Ock got huge, y'all. Samuel Tarley.
It's amazing.
That looked like a Dyson sphere.
That we lost the technology to go to the moon in a fire. Nutty.
And
Yeah.
no one's smart enough to refigure it out.
Yeah. It's just weird.
I wonder what Elon would have to say about that.
Anyways, the book of Boba Fett, y'all.
All right, I'm ready for this. This is number
this
2 on
drops
trending.
soon.
Yeah.
I have not seen this yet, so I'm going in cold with y'all.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let me do my comment.
Oh, you know what starts back Sunday?
What?
Dexter.
Oh shit.
So
I'm
FYI,
on that.
yeah, y'all want to throw that on the pile?
I'm on that.
Yeah, let's do it.
I got to know what happens.
Yeah, I'm ready
Come on,
for
man.
it,
It might redeem itself. It
probably
is the
gonna be
original
garbage.
showrunner.
Yeah.
It's
You
probably
know,
gonna
the
be
guy that did the
garbage.
episodes we actually like.
I'll watch it, but I have no hope.
I think Michael Chaw can restore your faith, Trev.
I've seen Gamer, man.
That was a terrible movie.
That was
Accent
a good
was a choice. Like he.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
I'm ready for Book of Boba.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Cruising on Thespa and Mandalorian. They're missing an opportunity
What
here.
is that?
It's a fucking.
What?
I'm a Boba Fett.
Yes.
Oh, that was a nod.
Let's go. I love how they kind of like they started out with the Mandalorian with the Baby Yoda things, kind of lighthearted.
Yeah.
Now it looks like we're getting into the,
The seedy underbelly.
Yeah.
So it's funny because now they're on the the different videos that come up at the end of these. So the shot of his helmet hitting the ground,
With the money in it.
dude, that was reminiscent of how in Attack of the Clones when Jango Fett dies and Boba's a little kid.
Yeah. When he gets his
Yeah.
head chopping it off.
Decapitation.
Decapitated.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, the gardener.
Yeah, this looks like a silly goose time.
It looks like somebody took a predator mask and was like, let's get these dreads off his fucking thing.
Shit's hot. I'm ready though.
Too.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Baby killer.
I thought
When you
I haven't seen
when
that
you
guy
see
in a movie
the
in a long time.
when you see the B movie filter, you're like, ugh, let's bring our expectations down a couple notches.
Ringy Dean.
Hello,
Hello,
Bobbit. Why are you mowing your yard so late at night?
And his name's Dougie.
From the badass mind behind Commando. I'm here to clip the hedges, skim the pool, and remulch. A bunch of dudes you've never heard of.
That guy's comment may be true. It's so bad that it's actually good.
Might have to watch that.
You might have to tell me about it, bro.
I'm podlocked on it, bro.
Not I. Not I. No.
All right, we got another.
I mean, we've seen way worse trailers than that, so.
Yeah. I mean, it just looks like a silly, dumb action film, which is,
Okay. Is this Lady Gaga?
It is.
Yeah. This is House of Gucci.
Gucci?
I heard that's
Second
how you're
trailer.
supposed to pronounce it. Yeah. Gucci.
This has what's his name in it too?
Adam Driver.
And Leto.
Yeah.
Directed
This
by
is a Ridley Scott. Yeah. Let's peep it, man.
I'm not really into Gucci, but
I'm
the
into
first
Gaga.
trailer,
Though.
you know.
Are you Gucci for Gaga or Gaga for Gucci?
She's hot. I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Whoa.
Gucci.
It was the name of the space between balls and sphincter.
Yeah, the Gucci. Oh, that's funny. Ah, sweet dreams.
I just want to see Quicksilver saving everybody now. I am Adam Driver. I do not have car. Uh, and a bunch of people in fucking prosthesis, except for Al Pacino. He gets to play the old bigot or old misogynist.
I didn't know there was so much drama around Gucci. This comment. Gaga has taken the world, the acting world, by the balls, and she's phenomenal.
I mean, I want to watch that just for Jared Leto's performance.
Wonder who he's playing. Gucci is my name too, you know.
A Gucci could be sausages if you want it to be.
And then
But the
Pacino was like,
precious.
"Bring that little Gucci over here."
A gotcha! He just takes a big line of coke and he's just
Lady
like,
Gaga
gotcha!
got a huge ass. True story.
I've seen it.
This trailer?
No, Lady Gaga's ass. Oh, the next movie's
Yeah.
True Story. I thought you meant like. Anyway, all right. True story. Let's
Kevin Hart.
do it.
3, 2, 1, play. Hopefully this is not as sad as that last one where his wife dies
Yeah.
and he's got to raise the kid. Oh.
Just remember when your beard grows short, you can talk all the shit you want. Wesley, love his crap. Colon. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. The whenever you have the alias, fucking Wesley, love my craft snipes. Dead hooker in the room.
Was that we got a code 2? No, I haven't had any hookers with me today. That was the guy from
The 3 Comma Club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this him legitimately trying to be a serious actor?
Yeah.
I kind of like old man Wesley Snipes, you know?
Oh, we finally get a fucking Buzz Lightyear trailer.
Yeah, I saw an article about this where it's like people are
confused.
Yeah,
I mean, can I ask who the fuck asked for this?
Disney
well, you know
Plus
this is Chris Evans, and it's like it's based on the actual Buzz Lightyear instead of the toy. Like it's the actual character.
So it's a franchise within a franchise, right?
Franchiseception.
Yeah.
Friendception.
Friendception. There we go. Got it. Third time's a charm.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, I'm interested.
It's gonna be weird that it's not Tim Allen, but 3, 2, 1, play. Go infinity. Lightyear. Okay.
Was not expecting this song to be.
That's one way of showing you something without showing you anything. Beyond.
It doesn't look bad.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but dude, it's Pixar.
Yeah.
Pixar can they know how to make something to let you sit with your family for a couple hours and not have to hear what the fuck Reeves or some shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty good, and like I understand that there may be some confusion, but I think that like here's how you do the trailer to separate the confusion. And if you're going to come out with another trailer, just have like Buzz and Woody and the rest of those guys watching the TV, and then just a mention is made where it's like, oh, these are my adventures or whatever.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what
the
I'm
real
saying?
Buzz
Like,
Lightyear.
yeah, like this, and it could be a thing where it's like it's a movie about the character that Buzz Lightyear was actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could have, and they could use it as something even more clever, where
So
it's like
people are confused because they think it's part of Toy Story,
yes,
but on
yeah,
the IMDb it says
yeah, I know,
that it's
but
the
most
adventures
people
of the
can't
real. Oh
read.
yeah, forgot.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
knew that because we talked about it
We
on here,
did.
but like,
well, it would be really poignant if they could do something where by the end of the end of the film, it just cuts to like Buzz talking to the toys.
Oh, there's
Like
gonna
this
be
has
a
been his
cameo.
exploit, you know,
yeah, but
which is almost fucking tragic because it's a toy talking about something that never did.
yeah, but I mean, when they bring Buzz home in the first Toy Story, he's looking for those fucking
Yeah.
aliens and shit. Like,
Yeah, he's like
you
locked in
know,
the mode. Like he's
yeah,
like, "You are a toy."
yeah. So, like,
What a
and
classic.
yeah, and they could kind of do like a little throwback thing. Like, there's a lot that they could do with that, and they could make it easier for people to understand. Here's the thing: if people aren't spoon fed the information that they want, then they just go, "I don't like it."
Yeah. What do you
So,
mean it's not Toy Story?
yeah. You can't have
Ah.
a Buzz Lightyear movie without Woody. Where's my Woody?
Next is a movie based on Woody.
I'd watch that. We kind of got that in Toy Story 2, though.
Yeah.
But, But anyway, they could have went full meta with it, though, where it's like, this is a reboot or a remake of Buzz Lightyear because, like, Toy Story came out, what, 94?
Yeah, something like that.
So it's been like almost 20 years,
Yeah.
or it's been almost 30 years, right?
Pushing it.
So they could use that as a cool, like, funny commentary, like self-aware kind of way of being like, this is a reboot of the Buzz Lightyear story that we never saw. We just saw the adventures of the toys that it was based off of that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It could be like Jay and Silent Bob reboot where they do something like super clever and interesting with it, but it doesn't look like it's going that way. I mean, it would be a little bit too over the heads of children, of course, but anyway, it is what I think that would have been the better way to do it, in my opinion. Because how funny would that should have been?
Yeah.
Like they're Buzz and Woody and the toys are watching this shit, and he's like, "I never went on these adventures. What the fuck is going on?" And
Yeah.
then they bring another Buzz toy home to the kid, and it's like, you know what I mean?
The updated Buzz that remembers these adventures.
Yeah, that went on those
Yeah.
adventures. Yeah,
Different voice.
yeah, exactly. Like they could do a whole thing with that, but my version's better. All right, let's let's watch this official trailer for Wheel
Oh,
of Time.
fucking right.
Yeah. This is coming out November the 19th, by the way.
Holy shit.
It's soon. I thought it was next year, but it is not. It's like in 2 or 3 weeks. So
All right, I'm ready. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I
3.
want this on the pile.
Oh yeah, I'm watching it. 3, 2, 1, play. Hmm. Those orcs look pretty cool. Ooh. That D&D campaign looks great. Fucking right.
What do you think, Trav?
I mean, it looks like they're gonna be. I mean, to me, it looks faithful of the Eye of the World, but I don't know how other people feel because it seems like they're gonna play the safe route and instead of trying to mash everything together and cut through, cut to the savior story that's in the fucking Wheel of Time,
Yeah.
because it's not a fantasy series unless the one that can save us has risen.
Yeah. Raisin. He is raisin.
I can't wait. I can't wait until there's a part near the end where there's a new location that they find where the part of the final battle is going to take place in the first leg of the story. It's a place called the Blight, and as they get closer to it, like the environment's kind of like Annihilation. How when they get closer to shit, like shit starts looking weird and fucking you know,
Yeah.
the landscaping's being modified by how much fucking evil and corruption there is.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that, and I'm interested to see the ways which that platform that's on top of that hill. Well, that shit's obviously gonna open up into some fucking, fast. That's how they're gonna fast travel,
Yeah.
and yeah, but yeah, it looks good to me. I'm hyped. As much as I'm gonna allow myself to be, because this has been a property that's been trying to get made for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So let's hope Amazon. Let's hope Jeffrey Bezos can pull it off.
You did it, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. All right, the trip. I don't know anything about this.
I came across this trailer the other night and was like, okay. So I saved it and put it in here.
All right. Is it a comedy or a horror? All right, let's fucking
Yeah.
check it out. Let's check it out.
It looks like a silly goose time.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh yeah, it's a foreign.
Yeah, for fucking real.
So he's gonna kill this bitch. Because he hates her. But she's got the same plan.
They're gonna fall in love.
Spend the whole movie trying to kill each other. And somebody else shows up. You hear the music?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a situation where their bickering is gonna actually keep them alive?
I think so.
That's
It
a
looks pretty
funny.
good.
That's a
Yeah.
funny way of going about that. That's yeah.
I kind of want to watch that. It looks like a silly time.
With it being foreign like that, and because I've seen a couple that's done it, where like it'll start off ultra serious, and it'll just turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they might do that. It'll be serious at first. They little bits of comedy here, and then one of them will end up dead, and it's gonna make the fucking rest of the show or movie be like, okay, enough pussyfooting.
Yeah. Enough of that shit. So we're gonna do Lamb next week.
Yeah, did y'all notice that's the woman that's in it? In that trailer?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. That's the girl from Dragon
Okay.
Tattoo, Prometheus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
She
yeah,
looked
dude.
different, had blonde hair.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was looking at Lamb and I came across, because I was like, what's this? Because
Yeah.
I think that's already out. It's actually got a good scores on like IMDb and stuff.
A lot of the reviews and stuff are talking pretty favorably about it. So I'm interested to see. I mean, it's been a minute since we watched a A24 film, right?
Yeah.
So
The last one would have been wasn't that the Green Knight?
yeah. So
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. And like I said, I've heard really good things about it so far. So I'm excited to see how this shit's gonna shake out. It looks creepy.
Yeah, that scene. There's a scene in the trailer where she's like sitting out there in the weeds
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the lamb that's wearing clothes,
Yeah.
and they're having like a picnic, and it's like,
What?
so either she banged the lamb or the other guy did. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Or
Like,
Yeah.
Or it. Well, I'm just saying, if you got a lamb that gives birth and it looks kind of like a human, I'd be looking at my husband like,
What
what?
did you do?
Yeah,
It's lambception, dude.
yeah. What's lamb chop?
But
But yeah,
I'm excited. It's already available, so we're good to go.
lamb next
Fuck
week.
yeah.
Checks in the mail.